Hey y'all, my name is Holly Lamb and thanks for joining me to do a little thrift flipping. We start off at one of my favorite thrift stores. This is Hello Goodbye. It's a small thrift store here in Glenn County, and I found this real heavy plastic rolling pin along with some other cool little grilling tools, and I decided to take it home. It was only $2. And so I thought I'd do a little napkin decoupage. It's already white, so it's set to go. So I'm going to go ahead and paint with this antique bronze the handles. And I just squirt a little bit out and I start painting with it and realize I need to shake up this bottle. This has not been used in a little while. So I shake it up, and I've got a piece of plastic on top of my craft mat there. And so I just squirt it out, and that is what we needed. Now I'm trying to keep the paint off of the rolling part and only on the handles and that little collar right there. And I put several coats on, and after I get it all painted, I'm going to end up deciding to paint the handles black. But I'm going to leave that bronze on the little shoulder pieces, the little collar. Now, here are my Mackenzie Childs napkins that I ordered from Amazon. I've been watching a lot of DIYers and crafters make and paint this courtly check is what they call it. It's a hand-painted buffalo check. I'm sure they would not call it buffalo check, but it's a hand-painted, check here. And this napkin, I think when I'm looking at the courtly check, I think it's a little more black and white, so to speak. This napkin really adds some watercolor effect to it. It's beautiful. I love it. And that's a nice close-up for you there. So when I'm cutting on it, I'm not cutting a perfectly straight line. I am kind of, making allowances for this hand-painted look. So I'm getting it ready here, and it fit just perfectly on the, the flat or the rolling part, the cylindrical part of the rolling pin. And I'm going to use my decoupage medium of choice, which is matte Mod Podge. And I'm just going to put a nice light coat there. I want enough that it's going to, adhere, but I want it to be as even as possible. So I'm really trying to even that out. And then it was just as easy as that. And I'm just going to pat it down. I am no nonsense kind of decoupager. I don't mind if I get a couple of wrinkles. It's okay. That's part of the charm of decoupage. But, I'm going to do my best with my dry, clean hands to get most of the wrinkles out. And then I'll put a little bit of Mod Podge on top, let it dry, and I'll come back with a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to be coming back with the Super Matte Mod Podge to give it more of a matte finish. Because we know that regular matte Mod Podge has a little bit of sheen. But it's beautiful. It's got a little bit of texture, but so does the rolling pin, to be honest. So I'm going to continue. I did it in two stages. And now when I pull that napkin down, I'm going to give it a little bit of a pat, a very special. I don't want a bump there where a little bit of Mod Podge gets stuck, up under the napkin. So I made sure that it was a nice, smooth transition. And then, my luck. The pattern did not meet up properly. It needed one more pattern, but that's all right. It's got to have the rolling pin has to sit on the table somewhere, right? So that's where it's going to sit, where it came together. But it did come together nicely. I was real happy with how it looked. Now, a lot of the Mackenzie Childs pieces, if you look through their internet site, their website, has a lot of black and then a lot of metallics. So I thought the handles just looked a little too shiny. And so I thought a nice black. I am going to use some triple thick to gloss the handles, but I wanted it to be black. I thought that was a better neutral than this bronze. So there we go. There they are matte. And then I decided to give those handles. I like a matte. You could leave them matte if you like that and do the whole thing in Super Matte Mod Podge for the sealer. But for the handles, I decided to use, and the little collar there, I decided to use triple thick. So I put 3 coats of the triple thick, which usually gives the best, smoothest gloss. And then my matte, my super matte Mod Podge is my choice if I really want a matte finish.
A little wicker box.
Oh, okay. For picnics.
Yeah.
How much is it? That could be fixed.
15.
15. All right. 7.50. I'm gonna pick up this
Pretty colors.
invention book for $1.
But the top's extremely dusty.
I pick up music wherever I go. If I see it for a good price, that was orange stickers were half off, so it has $2 on it, but I got it for $1. This Bach inventions are not my jam per se. My husband is his favorite composer is Bach, but I asked him if he wanted to have any of these for church or anything, and piano 2-part inventions are not really his jam either. He does have some books Bach he plays on the pipe organ at church, but not piano. So I am going to use that for roses. So we're going to make some music roses out of this beautiful Bach book. And I'm going to use the harder cardstock of the back cover for the base of my roses, and I just cut circles. And those circles will end up being a little bit too big, and I will cut them to fit. And then I'm going to cut petals out. And I'm going to make 2 different size roses. I'm going to make a smaller rose, and this is going to be my bigger rose. So these are pretty large petals. These little teardrop shapes are going to be the petals. And I'm cutting a little, and I'm not going to even say 1/2 inch because these petals are tiny. And so they're just going to get a very small slit cut in them. And then I'm going to take a little hot glue. I'm going to pinch them together. And then I'm going to take the rounded end of the petal and just roll it either on my pencil or on these tiny, tiny petals. I just roll it on my fingernail to give it that petal shape. Yeah. And because this music was so perfectly colored, it was a lovely shade. There's my shape. I didn't do any distressing. I didn't think I needed to do anything there. Now that's my center. I take 2 petals and then I roll them up into, I roll them into like a little cone. And I glue them together, and that's going to be my center. So the center is just as easy as that. It's 2 petals rolled up into a little cone and then glued together. And then I just start gluing the petals. I glue them askew to one another, so 2 are not going to cut together and fit together like spoons in a drawer. I don't want that. I want them to be a little bit askew. So there, I'm just going round and round, and I have no set pattern for this, other than I don't want it to be a pattern. And my hot glue gun is on low, and I can go back and curl petals if they kind of get flat. I can go back and just kind of get my pencil back out. This is the small one. These are the small petals. Pretty. And I like the way it looks. I like the shape. And so I'm going to stop. So I'm going to trim a little bit off the sides of this base and leave a little bit of the base on the ends so I can put some ribbon on it. And I'm going to glue some ribbon. Now this is the bigger rose here. And I'm going to glue some ribbon on the base, and then I'm going to take some petals and glue over the base. So we will not see where the petals are going, together. That kind of finishes it up a little bit. So now I have my ribbon to tie it onto things. So I'm going to make a little tie for my rose. And then I put 1 petal all the way around to hide the kind of, that background base, that kind of manila color. So all you see are the music petals. You can see what I'm doing there. This is just a grosgrain, off-white, off-ray ribbon. I like the simplicity of it. It seemed to match my music color. There we go, and I'll flip it over and show you that all those edges are now covered. There we go. Now I could have cut a little oval off there and covered up that manila, but you know, it's not going to show because I am going to tie it to something, so I'm not going to worry about that. Going to do the same thing to my little rose there. It's so cute. Now I have to be honest, the bigger roses are easier to make, but the little roses are so cute. And there I go, hiding the base again. Just always leave yourself a few little petals, or if you don't, you're going to have to tear out another sheet and cut a few more. But I think this little rose only took 1 page out of that, you know, that book, whereas the bigger rose, I think I did it with three sheets. And there we go. 2 roses ready to go, ready to be tied onto something pretty. I'm going to use the smaller rose, there we go, on my rolling pin. And the bigger rose, I'll save and show you when I'm going to use that one on in just a second. So there, I'm going to tie it. I want it to sit kind of cockeyed. Now, because there's so much hot glue on top of that base, this is a very firm rose. It's not going anywhere. I could easily tie it up there, and it's going to sit up nice and straight. That hot glue will make sure it does. And then I'm going to take another piece of the ribbon and then just tie a shoelace bow. And there we go. We have the 2 tails from the rose, and then 2 tails from the shoelace bow. And that's how I'm going to leave it. Just like that. No greenery or anything like that. I'm not going to make any leaves. I could make some leaves. But because of the Mackenzie Child's colors, I just thought the black and white was perfect. And then this is a chocolate mold that I bought from a friend who does resale. And I love this. I bought it a long time ago. And it moves all over the place. In my decor, I love it. I leave it out all the time. And sometimes it gets a red and green bow. And sometimes it gets a little grosgrain bow with a big music rose on his bum. And I just love it. There we go. It's perfect. My goodness. So here's my kitchen window. And I just used a little riser there. It's kind of like a little molding piece as my base for my pseudo Mackenzie Child's look there on my rolling pin. You can see kind of the glossy handles and the matte finish. I think it looks almost kind of marble-like, that courtly check, when it's, you know, got that matte finish on it. I just love it. And then there's that large music rose. You can see the center there. It's just a little cone. On my chocolate mold, that's a lamb, and I just love it. So pretty. All right, now this is the Goodwill in Brunswick, and I saw this big, round hanging with the Christmas stuff, and somebody did a nice job on that, but I thought, well, it's been Christmas decor for a while. So my sister works at Messiah University, and when she and her husband Dan come down to visit, they bring their cutie patootie dog Goldie, and she becomes my buddy when they're visiting. Now, my family, got together with my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law. Of course, my parents are here, and there's my sister, Heather, and her husband, my brother-in-law, Dan. There we are out with the blow-ups. Now, Dan and Heather like to go with us over to see the lights on Jekyll Island, and they go crazy with the beautiful lights at Christmas time. And it was a Holly Jolly Jekyll this year. And we went and we wandered around and we took pictures and we just oohed and awed. There's Faith Chapel there on Jekyll, and there's their gorgeous nativity. So there's Heather and Dan all bundled up. It was a little chilly. This was Christmas night. And there was Kevin and I. And it was a lot of fun. So Heather works at Messiah College and Messiah University in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. And on her office door, I decided to make her a new door hanger. And I'm going to use plaster chalk paint to cover up this pretty. It's black, and then that's a metallic paint of some sort. So you can tell I'm putting that paintbrush way down deep in there. This paint is about finished, and so it's thick. So it covered. That's my first cover, and so I had to do another coat, of course. But when that chalk paint gets down to the bottom, it gets good and thick. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out my wording on my Cricut. And so I'm just getting my vinyl ready there. It's a permanent matte-less vinyl, but I am going to use a matte because I have Explore 3. Now, I've done this before. It says, yay, you're here. And my you're here on that one, because it was a two-tone round, it didn't show up as well like on camera, but it did show up on the door. But I wanted this one to really pop, and this one's going to look nice because I'm going to keep that lighter background. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I thought it would be nice when her students come to visit her office. It says, yay, you're here. And that seemed like a nice thing for her door, and she was pretty happy about it. And then I'm going to use this Exploration IOD transfer. I think it's retired. It's been around a while, or I've had mine for a while. Now, my sister Heather loves hot air balloons. It's one of the things she kind of collects. So she found this in there, and then we pulled out the Kindest Regards stamp. These are all IOD products, and when you have this Kindest Regards stamp, I mean, I'll be able to use this for a lot of things. Now, I just got this stamp. I had never had it before, and of course, I've seen many crafters use it, so I had to get it. But I have used this ink before. This is my favorite color, Potting Soil by Ranger. And so I'm going to use this as my background. I've got it all sanded. IOD Sister suggests to prime your stamps by just using a light grit sandpaper going, this way and that, just so that the inks will, gives that little tooth so the ink will, stay in the sanded image, and your stamp is less likely to slide on you, and it just it seems to work great. And so I thought it was finished at this point, and I thought I was going to put the hot air balloon on, and then, put on my Cricut, yay, you're here, and, maybe do a little bit of distressing and be done. But I am going to use that the Kindest Regards again. It'll come back. I cleaned it good with a wet wipe, but it'll be back. I'm going to use it some more. So I'm just using my little transfer stick right there. It comes with every IOD transfer, and I put the link to Cottle and Gun, where I get most of my IOD stuff, down in St. Mary's, Georgia. I put that down in the description box if you want to check out her website. And it's just easy as that. Transfers are so much fun to use. They're just like, I, of course, still love stickers, but they're like, kids playing with stickers. They're just so fun and so easy. All right. Yeah, I'm going to split that up and do them one at a time. I don't like for permanent vinyl to turn back and start peeling up things. I don't want them peeling up, so I like to keep it trimmed back. So there's one, and then I'm going to do the big one. This one's easy because thicker fonts are easier to deal with. So I didn't make it as big as the round that I did before because I wanted the hot air balloon to, be the superstar of this wood round. And I use the clear contact paper from the Dollar Tree as my transfer tape. Sometimes I've got some masking tape transfer, but this one I wanted to see where it was going, and I think this stuff just works great. It's tacky, but it's not super tacky, and so if you play with it a little bit here, I'm having to grab that little dot on the exclamation point and work it onto the tape. Sometimes you have to do that a little bit, but once you get going, it's easy to do. And there we go. But it won't peel up things on my round, and you're going to see that in a second. It almost tries to peel up that transfer just a little bit right there where the Y is, but I'm able to, bring it back the other way. And because this shelf paper is removable, it tried to start to peel it up, but nope. Now, it did take just a bit of it, and I put it right back down, and you'd never know it was pulled up. so that I like using that for, for vinyl transfer tape. And there we go. We're just going to peel off that shelf paper. Easy as pie. I just love it. Yay, you're here. Okay, now I was going to put down the compass rose. Heather wanted that one on as well. But then I thought, that just looks so plain down there. I can't take it. So I decided to put a little bit more down at the bottom. And then I went a little bit of Kind of Regards Crazy. And I put some on the other side of the balloon. And then back up on the top, I just went crazy. And I just thought it looked so random and so beautiful. Like, maybe Heather's people that she's helped get jobs for over, time, and, all the people she's brought to Messiah College. She used to work in the admissions office. Maybe they have written notes, of gratitude and thanks for their wonderful time at college. And it's a great university. And I'm just going to distress the sides with a little bit of that ink so it doesn't look quite so new. Yeah, just dab, dab, dab. A little bit of that potting soil, which has a nice golden sheen. And I decided to put that compass rose right in the middle of the "You're Here." Yeah. And my sister will always, hopefully, have a little grin when she sees this every time she goes in her office, and she knows I love her. And I'm always glad when she comes to St. Simon's for a visit. She and Dan usually come down twice a year, and we always have a great time together, the four of us. And then my brother comes up from Jacksonville, where he and my sister-in-law live, and we just have a great time together. I have a brother and a sister, and I'm so blessed. So here it is on my pantry door. Before she left, we went ahead and I did a little bit of staging here so I could get some close-ups, and then I'm going to show you a picture she sent me from her office door.
Mia, what you doing? I can't see you. Goldie. What you doing? Hi. You's a good girl.
What a sweetie. I just love her. Okay, and so there's it is on her office door. Yay, you're here. To anybody who comes to see her. All right, I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to leave you with a scripture from Matthew, the first book in the New Testament, 13 verse 43. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears, let them hear. I love that scripture. We all have ears. We should hear the words of Jesus, and the joy that he brings to my heart is what I hope I can express to you and to your family this new year. A great year, 2025. I'm so thankful that it's here. And I got a good report on a PET scan this past week. The cancer has shrunk in half. And so we're on the right track. 2025 is going to be a year when I get a dark PET scan. I know it's going to be true. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button and all the good things. Leave me a comment, and God bless. And from the Blue House on the Corner, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.